Well, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Stock, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. Today, I'm here to talk to you about NIO, and oh my gosh, does NIO make our heads spin sometimes of the different news that comes out around it. So I am a big fan of NIO. I am also a big fan of Tesla. So we got our homegrown United States brand of Tesla, and then NIO on top of it being the #1 in the Chinese market, which is absolutely huge. And it's moving, in my opinion, sort of aggressively into the European markets. We have news about Norway coming out for the end of September. That's huge for NIO. But then we have more news today about another country that will see NIO show up, and that to me is pretty cool. So I want to share the news that I found with you. And some people might have mixed feelings about the recent news that's come out, but I'm here to provide a little bit of clarity and a little bit of insight into what I see and how it's going to translate into the price action, at least in the near future. And then from there, I'll give my end of year 2021 price prediction. I will give my end of year 22, oh my goodness, end of year NIO 2022 price prediction. And then also possibly even a 2025 price prediction at the end of that. So stick around and let's get ready to rock. All right, welcome back. For those of you who are interested, down in the description is a link to my Patreon if you want to see the other things that I have to offer and interact with me and my community members, my Patreon members over in the private Discord that's over there. They are a wonderful, passionate group of investors who are looking to make a difference in their financial lives and just kind of break that mold out of the middle class moving forward and really finding that financial freedom. So if that sounds interesting to you, we'd absolutely love to see it over there. You can also see my buy and sell alerts, my portfolios, my weekly newsletter, and my weekly watch list of stocks. Moving on from there, the referral links that are down there for Webull and Moomoo. You can sign up, deposit your cash, and get 2 free stocks from Webull, 4 free stocks from Moomoo, and then I get some free stocks for the referral. So both of us win, and you're really paying yourself at that point in time while paying me with no other cash. So that's awesome. And then there's a new feature called Super Like. You guys can check that out. So you might have to scroll across if you're on your smartphone or maybe even a tablet. But if you're on your computer, it should show up just beneath the video. But above the description, it's a heart and it has a $sign in it. And if you guys want to have your comments, there you go, highlight, you can check that out. All right, so that's enough of the self-plugging for right now. I do want to move on from there. So like button, subscribe button, and then notification bell to see anytime these videos come out. Let's get right on to NIO. All right, so check this out. This is from Benzinga, and this is NIO ES8 EVs to be used by Intel and its robotaxi test in Germany. So NIO entering into Germany is huge news. So if they can actually get vehicles sold in Germany, if they get into the German markets, I think it's going to be really strong for NIO because, well, if we just look what's in Berlin, in Germany, we have the Gigafactory from Tesla. Tesla built one there because, well, honestly, it's got to be a place that Tesla has found to be an awesome market for their EVs, a place where they see as a key place to not only build their factories, but also distribute all throughout Europe. I believe their Model Ys are what they're producing first, and their Gigafactory in Germany. So NIO throwing the hat in the ring. Could be some competition in Germany, but it really speaks to the power of really grabbing a foothold in Germany. So I think that this is a huge thing just by geography alone. I think that it's a big move to get NIO there and get exposure in Germany. And we'll see using their ES8 SUV is something that I think is going to be something that's a really good, like, best foot forward kind of thing for NIO into Germany. So let's scroll down here, and there you can see the pretty little ES8 that they have, and they even were kind enough to put that on the license plate, so that way we know which one we're looking at. So it's a vehicle for NIO ES8 SUV used by Intel's core subsidiary Mobileye and Germany car rental giant Sixt SE for ride-hailing robotaxi service. So the robotaxi service, I don't know if you guys have looked at this, but robotaxis themselves are a huge business, something that, well, not yet, but something that's expected to grow into a huge business by 2030. So I actually pulled this up for you, and this little graph that we have, 136.8% compounded annual growth rate that we have for the robotaxi service. And this is something that can be a absolutely huge demand that first to market robotaxi have, especially if it's fully autonomously driven. That's something that, I mean, that's the golden goose, right? That's something that's going to keep on laying those golden eggs. And, will it be Tesla first? Honestly, Tesla's got a really strong game going on. And I believe that they're still by far the leaders in that space. But NIO with Intel and Mobileye, I think that they're going to also be somebody who they might quickly come behind, fill in that sort of gap. I think that there's still going to be a market, and I think as soon as one enters the field, I think that there's going to be multiple others that enter the field, but it's going to be only the biggest of names that are going to be capable of doing that, and I don't think that NIO is going to let up from that anytime soon. So I think that this is absolutely awesome news for NIO. I don't think it's been fully digested yet that there we go. I don't think that it's fully digested yet that how big this could turn out to be for NIO with the mobile taxi unit that they have with Mobileye. So we can check that out. Riders will be able to access the service using either the Move It app or the integrated Sixt app for ride hailing, car rental, car sharing, car subscriptions. Intel and Sixt said the IAA mobility event in Munich. To me, this is huge news for NIO moving forward, that even though this might not be something that initially moves their stock price in big ways. Now, mind you, I think it would move it better, but we have a little bit of mitigating news that I'm not sure a lot of people, maybe even retail investors, know how to take. So I'm going to put that up next. But just checking this out, I think that this is something that, and this news came out like 4 a.m. This came up on Benzinga, and other news covered it within the last few hours. So this channel should have some pretty recent coverage on this one, maybe even one of the first to cover this one. You might see some others come out throughout the day, but I did want to bring this to you early, and I'm going to try and have it up there for you prior to market open at 9:30, so you can also see what you think of it. And something that's really holding back their price, their share price right now, they actually had a drop in the after hours because it says NIO is to sell up to $2 billion worth of shares in the at the market equity offering. So what this means for at the market equity offering is that they can choose to sell shares, up to 50 million of them at their current price anyway. So if the price goes up, it's still only $2 billion worth. So with those $50 million worth of shares at $40 a piece, that's your $2 billion. So that $2 billion, it doesn't mean that they will sell the shares. It means that they can sell the shares. It doesn't mean that they've sold any shares yet. So they can choose to sell them. They don't have to sell them. But something like this is usually a move that way they can have a cash ready opportunity ready and waiting to go for them. And when it comes to auto manufacturers, EV or not, they are cash burning machines. So usually the margins are lower on them. And so if there any sort of development or innovation that needs to take place, having that access to capital is going to be huge. So overall, in my opinion, this is really good news for NIO. And honestly, we're talking like 3% right now of their market cap is the sort of share dilution we would be talking about. So this isn't something where they're devaluing the current shares by selling those 50 million shares at like $35 a piece. No, instead it's, hey, if this price should run up, we're probably going to take advantage of some of that capital. That's what's going to happen with the at the market equity offering that they have right now. So what does that mean for their share price that we have here? Well, it could be a mitigating result through, well, however long this equity offering is open. So end of 2021, if we see this thing run up to like, we'll call it $50 in the near term, we could get a little bit of that share dilution tossed into the market, maybe not, the full amount of it, but at least some of it. And this could happen that it should run up again, that we get a little bit more selling and over time. But honestly, I don't think it's going to be hugely impactful for NIO in the short term. It might cause small price dips. It might be small price mitigation. However, over longer term time horizons, I think that it's not going to matter so much for NIO because they're going to continue to do the things that it takes in order to be in the lead, and having that cash ready is not necessarily a bad thing. It would be bad if they were a company that was out of cash, for example, and a company that was struggling. I just don't think either of those two things are the case. I think that this is innovation money. This is flexibility money, and it's going to help them better navigate the EV space and, push forward with some of the other projects that they have. And by the way, this is one that I only read a little bit about. I think, is it the ET5 sedan? It might be rumored to be released also in 2022. You might want to check into that one. ET5 sedan, type it in, NIO ET5 sedan, type it into Google and see what you come up with. I'm not sure if that's a confirmed thing or a rumored thing. I'm just bringing the news that I have for you today for NIO, things that I think, first of all, that the robotaxi service, if they can get into that with Mobileye and really make a big impact in Germany, that would be huge for NIO moving forward from there. Even though it's not huge right away, it could turn into something huge, and the market will be very quick to price that in should they see huge implications for it. And then also the $2 billion worth of the ATM equity offering that they have. That's something that I don't think is overly concerning. And that's why if we look intraday in the after hours, you don't see, you see a little bit of a drop, but we went from like a little over 42 into Let me see, how far did this dip down? Just a little bit under 39, and then it kind of settled since then. We might get a little bit of selling pressure, but honestly, in light of this other news, I think it's going to kind of lock us somewhat in place for NIO over the next few days. All right, so let me summarize. So near-term price action for NIO. Honestly, we could be stuck in like that 39 to 41 range for a little bit because we have really good news, and then we have sort of like, you're going to dilute my shares, which, it's a 3% dilution, which, isn't great. It's not the best thing that you want to hear, but it's also not something that's going to happen all at once. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the full 3%. They can choose to sell all $2 billion worth in that market offering, or they can choose to do part of it, or they can choose to do none of it. We just have a big question mark and uncertainty over having that cash ready type of offer that it is. So they can go ahead and access that capital should they need to, but we don't necessarily know that they're going to need to. I'd expect at least a little bit to happen. I don't know that I would expect all of it to happen. So end of year 2021. So my NIO end of year 2021 price prediction, what I think is that we're going to be somewhere around that $45 to $50 mark for NIO. I think we're going to have a strong Q3. As I said before, record number of orders, record setting month, as long as they hit their production, their delivery goal that they have of minimum 22,500 vehicles. If they exceed that, it's still a record. And then also a record-setting quarter, a record-setting Q3 for a number of vehicles delivered as well. So we have a lot of records going on. Q4, hopefully we get some good news. And if it's also expected to be another record-setting quarter for Q4, that even makes a stronger case for my $45 to $50 range for NIO by the end of 2021. Now, by the end of 2022, which is expected to be an even stronger year for NIO, I think that puts us in the $50 to $60 range. And depending on where we end 2021, I think it could move my bias stronger to that $60 side, which is still below the 12-month analyst estimate that we have for NIO, which last I checked is around $65. So I'm not as bullish, only because I think that there's competition. I think microchip shortage is going to be something that's continued to hinder things and slow things down. I think that there's just different things to watch out for. So I want to be clear that I am a huge fan of NIO, and I think that they're going to continue to show strength. And I think that the bull cases out there are well merited. I just think that they might be a little bit excited in light of the chip shortage that we have moving forward from there. But 2022 is supposed to be a huge year. So by 2025, if NIO can continue to expand and grow at the rate that they are, and if they can continue to impress and move into those foreign markets, disperse throughout Europe and show strength in that robotaxi space that we should expect to really grow over the next decade, my NIO price prediction for 2025, I think $100 is very comfortable. And honestly, I think that, people might even find it laughable that it's a little bit on the low side of that. And then, of course, there's going to be NIO bears out there who are going to call it a worthless stock and it's $20 a share. And I'm just not one of those people. So I think $100, 2025 is very comfortable from where NIO is currently at and the growth that they expect, and the fact that they are the leaders in China and that they are going to continue that strength throughout the rest of the decade. So we'll watch as that plays out. We'll watch as the competition plays out. The mobile taxi service is absolutely enormous. And it's expected, or I should say that for mobile taxis, that it's supposed to grow to be very large by 2030. And I think that NIO is poised to be one of those leaders in that space as well. So 2030, things could get really exciting for NIO. It could go just multiples from where we're at right now. And I think it would take my somewhat relatively small position that I have in NIO relative to positions that other people have. It is big given my portfolio. Actually, EVs are fairly well weighted in my portfolio because I think it is an area where it's just going to continue to grow. So NIO is right up there with Tesla in my portfolio. That the two of those are the two that I'm banking on to really carry us through. XPeng, I also have a pretty good position in them. I think that they're going to do really well also. I think I have some shares of Fisker that I think are also going to pay off. So that's what I have for you. So if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you can see more of my videos and check out more of what's on my channel. Hit the notification bell so you can see my videos as soon as they come out. Absolutely love the support. And like I said, if you want to show further support, those referral links are down there. You can pay yourself, and then Webull or Moomoo will pay me for the referral. So we both win in that situation. Don't forget about that Patreon link if you want to see more of what I have to offer, my portfolios, my weekly newsletter, weekly watch list of stocks, also my private Discord, and access to my community, who is just, they're just astounding. Just incredible people. So if you guys are watching this, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Moving on from there, that super like button. I haven't had anybody try it out yet, but if you're interested in also thanking me, if I give you any information that you find to be something that helps you benefit financially, even though I can't give any financial advice, if this information helps you to make your decisions as part of your research and your due diligence, and you want to kick a little back to me, you can try out that super like button as well. Whatever support you show, I appreciate all of it, even if it's just watching these videos. I'm Dr. Stock. Thanks for rocking with me. Now go get that money.